Hi there, I'm Isaac of IKO Auto. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be going over something rather important whenever you're trying to start your own business, of course. Now, I clearly am not going to give you any form of tax advice in this video. Quick disclaimer on that. I am also not going to explain the different types of businesses that you can register as. This video is specifically to educate you on the step-by-step process of what that looks like. Linked below will likely be some resources that can help you determine what type of company you may want to register as. But again, I am not going to be answering that today. That is going to vary a lot on a case-by-case basis, so I would encourage you to research that a little bit more. But we're going to show you how I have set up at least my company. And so that, because yeah, it can be really scary figuring out, of course, just the step-by-step process of how to create your LLC. So we are going to do this really quickly. And the first thing we're going to do is we are going to go to this website right here. I'm going to paste it right on in. We are going to go to whatever our state is, the State Corporation Commission. So for me, I live in Virginia, so we're going to go to the Virginia Clerks Information System. The State Corporation Commission. Now, I also want to note something. I had a really hard time when I first got here and I tried to register because apparently if the window is zoomed just right, I do this because if your links don't show up on yours, especially in Virginia, you'll create an IT ticket and they'll tell you to hold control and zoom out or in, and suddenly the buttons will all appear. It was a weird IT issue I had when I was making my account the first time. So we'll see what this looks like. I may even log in to show you what my existing one looks like. But we are going to be registering one. Now, something I really quickly do want to talk about is this. We want to think about two things. One, we want our name, clearly, and we want to make sure that that name isn't taken. So we will use that to search this, but I also wanted to add the disclaimer of registered agents. You will see this as a service offered. Again, it would behoove you to do additional research outside of this video just to discover what a registered agent is and if they are necessary to you. I will say from experience, a lot of websites will scrape the internet, and that internet scrape will get your information. So if you can be your own registered agent, however, that means you're most likely going to be giving out your home address. And then because it's now registered, you've kind of now put your home address out there into the wild. So if that's something that's not of concern to you or is even in your business interest, then you may want to be a registered agent yourself. However, if you do want that privacy, I would highly suggest utilizing a registered agent. You will pay somewhere between $50 to $150 per year. And again, go ahead and research exactly what a registered agent is. I mean, just as a topical way to describe it, they must be a resident within the same state as you, and you are giving them permission to receive legal notices in government mail on the behalf of your business, on your LLC that you are creating. But back to choosing our name, that's the fun stuff. Of course, you want to go ahead and see if something's taken. So we'll show right here. I'm going to go ahead and type in IKO Auto. And when I hit search, boom, look at that. It comes right up. I have my entity ID here, my IKO Auto LLC, which is my legal name. I am an LLC entity type. I am not franchised. And this is why we want to use a registered agent. I did not realize that when I was registering this, and now my home address is here. I just can't wait to come back here and update this to my new physical address once my dealership does launch. So we went ahead and we looked at, okay, who owns it? Is the name available? Are there names near it? So we'll go ahead and do that. That was our entity search. So yeah, so now we know how to search a name, and you can actually reserve names as well. I think it's like $10. And it'll actually reserve that LLC name for 120 days if you're not quite sure on which variation of your name you would like. So the first thing we're going to do, like I said, is go ahead and we are going to file the Articles of Organization. So for Virginia, this is actually really affordable. It is going to vary state by state, but for Virginia, $100 flat. That's what it is to create an entity. What we'll need, of course, in order to do that is whatever we want our business name to be. We need to also have our registered agent's name and address. And we also need to have a principal office address. Well, of course, you will receive the certificate of organization once approved, which is typically within 1 to 3 business days if filed online. So then you'll also possibly need to go ahead and create an operating agreement. If you are a one-man show, it'll pretty much, it's going to be just you that you're putting down. However, if there's extra investors, maybe shared ownership, shared liabilities, this is where you're going to all put that in so that the state is aware of those internal liabilities, those internal agreements. So again, it's an internal document that doesn't have to be filled with the state. It defines ownership percentages, profit sharing, management structure, and member responsibilities. Of course, if you're still the only member, you should still make one, and that's just for banking purposes. They'll ask for a banking agreement. This is very similar to your business plan. It can be part of your business plan or its own separate document. So let's get started. So what we're going to do, we're at our State Corporation Commission's CIS, the Clerk's Information System. So this is where all of our filings are going to be done. We're going to create a new account. So we're going to click this register because, yeah, we want to file stuff. So we're going to register up. We're going to create a company, and we're going to just play around with this. We're not going to actually commit into this. This is where you're going to put all of your information so that you can log in. You can have access to the online portal. You're going to put in all of your personal information, your mailing information. You're going to make yourself a username and a password, and you're going to submit everything. Then we're going to go back home and we're going to log in. This is just a great place. You got a lot of drop downs. You can search all sorts of things right here. When it was submitted on, your name, again, the amount. But yeah, this is where you'll find your submissions, all of the information once you have been created, and any notifications that you should be aware of as well as correspondence. If you ever need special orders, all of your correspondence will be here as well. We're going to make a new one. So we're going to go online services and we're going to click new businesses. Boom. So this is where we get to choose again. Now, again, I would encourage you doing a deeper dive in looking into this, into seeing which type of business you want to register as. But I'm choosing to believe if you're already here, you're probably going to go for our very standard LLC. This is going to be an Articles of Organization LLC, not a professional LLC. If this was a doctor's office, if this was a law firm, we would put professional LLC. We are not one of practicing in that way. So we are just going to do regular Articles of Organization. And we're going to walk through this and we're not going to actually submit it. But like I said, the document fee, especially in Virginia, super cheap to create a business, to create an LLC in Virginia. Your mama's house. And we'll check availability. Name is not allowed. Oh, that's right, because we need to put LLC at the end. The entity must appear exactly, and if it's an LLC, it must have LLC at the end. So let's try. There we go. See how it accepted it that time? Because we selected LLC, we do have to have LLC in the business entity name itself. So, Your Mama's House LLC, we can do it. Let's go ahead and hit next. This is where we're going to go ahead and start putting in some of our contact information. So this is probably where we're going to put in our pre-made Your Mama's House at Gmail. If you have a business phone number, your personal phone number, you do want to go ahead and try to denote if you are within a certain industry. Again, if you're an insurance agency, mortgage, or a church. And then of course, duration. If you want this to be a company that is open forever until you decide that it is closed, or if you have a specific date for when you would want this to close. So we'll just leave all that blank for now. We're going to keep on going. So this is where we put our registered agent search. This is where we put our individual that we have already agreed for, and we're going to select them from the registered list, or we're going to become our own. And this is where we would put all of your personal information in if you want to be your own. Yet again, please remember, this is going to be publicly available information. So be careful if you do not want to dox your home address. The RA capacity, of course, you're going to put your the most relevant role. If you're a one-man show, you're the member or the manager of it. Again, depends on your internal documentation, what you're going to put here. But generally speaking, if it's a one-man show, you're going to be just for you. So this is going to be our principal office address. So of course, then we have our principal information. Again, we talked about this a little bit, making sure that this is written down somewhere. So this is manager managed because we are the one-man show. If this was maybe like a owner's cooperative type thing, we would choose the other. Again, just depends on your information. So if you need supporting information, again, this is something that would be part of usually your agreement. Then yeah, you would upload here. One-man show. I did not have to upload anything because it was just me. So you just hit next, and then of course we're going to sign as an individual. You know, I'm the organizer, I'm the owner of this LLC. We're going to get it done, you know, printed name, all that. And I can't go any further because it's going to review and then charge us. But yeah, so that's how you create your LLC. So then at this point, we're done. You're going to get documentation. You're going to get some correspondence. You're going to get your certificate. And this is what this will look like. It took a few days for that acceptance to come in, but yeah, you'll get a state corporation commission certification of organization. This is very important. Save this, back it up, download it, save it again, back it up again. We just talked about the most difficult part of creating the LLC, which is just getting through and surviving the state corporation commission's system, your CIS system. Getting an EIN is incredibly easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk through this again, just a little bit. And what we're going to do is go to the IRS website, and we are going to go to business. So we're going to go to irs.gov/businesses, or of course going to the IRS website, because what an EIN does is it makes us tax recognized as an entity. You are giving your LLC its own social security number. That's the best way to think about it. So the state recognizes it because we formed the LLC, but once we apply and receive an EIN, the Fed will now recognize it as well. And that's going to be key when it comes to all of your accounting. It just makes it easier from an accounting perspective to be able to separate your personal finances from the business expenses and finances. What we are going to do is go to businesses and self-employed. And for tax information, we want that EIN. Okay, I hate the IRS website, and I was going to try to figure out how to get here through this portal. So what I'm going to do is just be nicer, and I'm going to flash this URL, and we'll probably put it in the description as well, because this is where you really want to go. Employer ID numbers, there we go, because I clicked everything but. And this is where we're going to be creating the EIN, and it's going to explain what we need, all of that. So we'll hit apply for EIN, and okay, that's right. That's right. It's the weekend. I can't show you how to do this, and the government's shut down when I'm recording this still. So my very awesome editor is going to work some really cool magic, and he's going to try to find screenshots that show the step-by-step for an EIN. And then unfortunately, I'm not going to show you my EIN because, just kind of like I said, it's a social security number for your company. You don't ever give out your EIN, just like you don't ever give out your social security number. When applying for funding, possibly in other agencies, like there are some instances, again, just like you have to put your social security number down to verify you are who you are. As a business, you'll occasionally have to write down your EIN, but do not give out this information willy-nilly. You don't want anyone to do fraud under your business name. So what's really cool with the EIN stuff, we'll go ahead and talk through it though, because now that we already have the LLC and we have our articles of certification, so we'll just need the business name and the address, the reason that we are applying, which of course we're starting a new business, how many members that there are, of course, if you're a one-man show, just one, or if you have any starting employees. And then of course it's also going to give you a drop down for like business type. So like if it's, you know, in our case, a car dealership, or like you saw earlier on the state's clerk system, if you're an insurance company, a mortgage company, a nonprofit, so on and so forth. Now what's really cool is this is free. This costs you nothing. It is completely free, and you'll get it like instantly online. You'll get an email, again, save it, snip it, back it up, save it, back it up again, store it somewhere safe on a thumb drive that's not connected to anything. You know, because that's what you'll use to get bank accounts, do all your taxes, and all of your professional licensing will be tagged through this EIN. So it is very important that you keep that number near you and you are aware of what it is. And that's it. After creating the EIN, you are now recognized on both a state level and a federal level. Congratulations, clap hands, high fives around the table, because you did it. Your business, and you get all the fun of doing business. So now you can go open a business bank account. You can go and register with the Virginia Department of Taxation if that's applicable. So if you're someone that's going to be collecting sales tax, have employees, or pay business taxes, you need to go ahead and register with the Department of Taxation within your state. So for me, again, this is going to be Virginia. So we're going to go to tax.virginia.gov. And this is where we would log in to our business account. And yeah, we would register. If we need to pay your taxes online, we would register a new business, confirm our EIN number that we just created so that we can go ahead and do our tax filings and be on record. And you'll create a platform here. They'll ask some questions and then go from there. Most businesses are probably going to have to register with the tax board. And that's just, again, making sure that when you charge a customer sales tax, that sales tax amount goes where it's supposed to and is correctly accounted for. So I also wanted to make sure to add one more important piece of information that I wished someone would have given to me as advice is the moment that you register your business, you're going to start getting an insane amount of mail, and that mail is going to look very scary. So I have one here that I wanted to show you all to kind of give you an example of the crazy things that you'll be looking for. So you get this, and I mean, first thing in the mail, you get additional business documents needed, but I thought I did all that. It is required by law. So a lot of times you'll get these right out the gate and they seem very scary. They're marketed with big red letters that you can see. But then you'll notice if they're good, they'll have this right here. The services offered by this are an advertisement. You are not required to purchase anything from this company. And that's because what these companies do is they do the data scrape. And then when they see that you have created a new business, these are sales services for various things. So let's open this up some. I want to make sure I don't show off too much of my own info, but I believe this one right here, this one is trying to get me to do an EIN service, which again, is free. This costs nothing, but of course, big red letters that are so scary and, you can get fined. Labor law posters, you can get fined from this. Again, it's big, red, and scary. So just make sure to follow the laws that you need and be aware that you will get a ton of spam mail that looks very scary. But this doesn't apply to me at all. I'm a one-man show. I don't need to have labor law posters up because I don't have any employees other than myself. Know your laws, know your labor laws, know your local laws. And above all, be aware that like I said, you're going to get a lot of these scary required by law stuff. So don't freak out too much. Open it up, read it, look for the disclaimer. Some are better than others. Some hide them way, way down there, stuff like that. This one doesn't even have anything on the back, but you get the point. That's all I have. Thank you for sticking by. This is how to create an LLC and how to apply for an EIN. I hope this walkthrough has been helpful and you've been able to register with your state corporation commission and you've been able to apply and get your EIN. Thank you. This is Isaac from IKA Auto. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.